In the opulent halls of the ancient kingdom of Eldoria, where marble floors gleamed under the flicker of golden chandeliers and whispers of intrigue danced like shadows, Princess Elara stood defiant before her father's throne. Herr Krein? A simple act of rebellion, she had dared to love a commoner, a young scholar from the villages beyond the palace walls. The king, furious at the threat to his lineage, decreed her punishment with a cruel twist. You wish to mingle with the lowly, he thundered, his voice echoing through the court. Then you shall marry one even lowlier, a servant from the stables, the humblest of them all. The courtiers gasped, but Elara's eyes burned with unyielding fire. Little did anyone know, this forced union would unravel the threads of destiny in ways no one could foresee. Elara was no fragile flower, she was a storm wrapped in silk. At 22, she possessed a spirit forged in the fires of curiosity and compassion, traits her royal upbringing had tried and failed to suppress. Her mother, the late queen, had instilled in her the value of seeing beyond titles, whispering tales of heroes who rose from ashes through kindness alone. But now, as guards escorted her to the modest chapel where the ceremony would take place, Elara felt a pang of uncertainty. The servant chosen for her was named Thorn, a man of 30 with calloused hands and a quiet demeanor. He tended the horses, mended fences, and spoke little, his laugh a rhythm of toil and solitude. Rumors painted him as honest but unremarkable, a shadow in the palace's grand narrative. As they stood before the priest, exchanging vows under the watchful eyes of the court, Elara stole a glance at her new husband. His eyes, deep brown like the earth after rain, held no malice, only a gentle resignation. The first days of their marriage were a tapestry of awkward silences and forced proximity. Banished to a small cottage on the palace grounds, far from the luxuries Elara knew, they navigated the unfamiliar terrain of shared life. Dorne rose at dawn to fulfill his duties, returning with the scent of hay and sweat clinging to him. Elara, stripped of her maids and finery, learned to stoke the fire and prepare simple meals. At first, resentment simmered in her heart, not toward Thorn, but toward the injustice that bound them. This is no life for a princess, she muttered one evening, staring into the hearth's flames. Dorne, chopping wood outside, paused and entered quietly. Nor for a servant to wed one against her will, he replied softly, his voice carrying the weight of unspoken burdens. It was the first real conversation they shared, and in that moment, Elara saw a flicker of depth in him, a man who had endured losses of his own. As weeks turned to months, the unexpected began to unfold. Dorne was not the simple laborer the court assumed. In stolen evenings by the fire, he revealed fragments of his past. Orphaned young, he had been taken in by a wandering scholar who taught him to read the stars, heal with herbs, and ponder the mysteries of the human soul. Knowledge is the true crown, he said one night, sketching constellations on a scrap of parchment. Elara, intrigued, shared her own secrets, her forbidden love for the scholar, her dreams of a kingdom where merit trumped bloodlines. Their talks grew longer, laughter creeping in like dawn's light. She discovered his selflessness in small acts, mending her torn dress without being asked, leaving wildflowers on the windowsill to brighten her days. In return, Elara taught him courtly dances, her grace transforming their humble home into a secret ballroom. What started as punishment blossomed into companionship, a quiet rebellion against the king's decree. But the kingdom was not blind to their union. Whispers spread through the halls, the princess seemed content. The king, sensing a threat to his authority, summoned spies to watch them. One fateful day, a plague swept through Eldoria, born from tainted waters in the villages. The court barricaded itself, hoarding medicines and food, while the common folk suffered. Elara, hearing the cries from beyond the walls, felt a fire ignite within her. We cannot hide while they perish, she told Thorn, her voice trembling with resolve. Nadie, his eyes steady. Together, they ventured out under cover of night, using Thorn's herbal knowledge to brew remedies from forgotten plants. Elara, disguised in simple cloaks, distributed them door to door, her royal poise now a tool for mercy rather than display. The turning point came in a humble village hut, where a young mother clutched her feverish child. Please, save him, she begged. Thorn knelt, administering the potion with gentle hands, while Elara held the woman's trembling form. As the child's fever broke, a profound realization washed over Elara. True power lay not in thrones or titles, but in the quiet acts of humanity that bridge divides. Thorn's selflessness mirrored her mother's teachings, and in that moment, she saw him not as a servant, but as a partner, of equal in spirit. Their bond deepened, unspoken love weaving through their shared purpose. But danger lurked. The king's spies discovered their nocturnal missions and reported back, branding them traitors for aiding the unworthy. The emotional climax erupted on a stormy night when the king, in wrath, stormed their cottage with guards in tow. "You defy me still," he roared at Elara, his face twisted in fury. Torne stepped forward, shielding her. "Your Majesty, we defy no one but suffering itself," he said calmly, his voice resonant with quiet strength. The king laughed bitterly, ordering their arrest. But as the guards advanced, a clamor arose outside. Villagers, healed by their efforts, had gathered, hundreds strong, torches flickering in the rain. "Release them!" they chanted, their voices a thunderous wave. Among them was the young mother, her child healthy in her arms, testifying to Thorn and Elara's compassion. One by one, stories poured forth, a farmer whose crops Thorn had saved from blight years ago, an elder whose wisdom Elara had sought in secret. The king's face paled as he witnessed the transformative impact of their generosity. The plague halted not by royal decree, but by two souls united in kindness. In that pivotal moment, the king faced his own profound realization. His punishment, meant to break his daughter, had instead revealed the flaws in his rule. Tears welled in his eyes as he beheld the crowd's loyalty, earned not through fear, but through selfless acts. "He was blind," he whispered, dismissing the guards. Embracing Elara, he begged forgiveness, acknowledging Thorn as a worthy consort. The kingdom transformed overnight. Walls between classes crumbled, with Elara and Thorn leading reforms that emphasized humanity over hierarchy. Villages flourished, education spread, and acts of kindness became the new currency of power. Years later, as Elara and Thorn stood on the palace balcony, watching their children play with villagers' offspring, the sun setting in a blaze of gold, Elara turned to him. "They thought to punish me," she said softly, "but fate gifted us this." Thorn smiled, his hand in hers. "Kindness is the greatest rebellion, my love. It turns chains into wings." Their story echoed across Eldoria and beyond, a testament to the power of selflessness. In a world often divided by status and strife, it reminded all that true change begins with a single act of compassion, inspiring hope that even the harshest punishments can lead to the most beautiful redemptions. For in the heart of humanity lies an unbreakable force, one that uplifts, unites, and endures.